understanding the moment we are in and the way that people like Brendan Carr, chair of the FCC, or others who are in the government doing Trump's bidding are doing so by creating these false narratives around what censorship means, what the First Amendment means. Doing your job as a journalist is not a reason to be imprisoned, detained, or even deported.
Nora, welcome to the program. Tell us about this journalist, Mr. Mario Gua, if I have that right.
Oh, well, thanks, Tom. It's wonderful to be here. I've heard the best things about you from colleagues.
Oh, well, thank you.
This case is in many ways unique, but in other ways, I think it's part of a growing pattern of censorship by the Trump administration. Mario Guevara is a beloved journalist in Atlanta. He's Spanish speaking. He's from El Salvador. He came to Atlanta over 20 years ago legally and has been here with a work visa. He really covers things in the community that a lot of other people don't. He has an independent news outlet called MG News, and he covers issues for the local Spanish-speaking community. A lot of that coverage is about ICE, about law enforcement, and the way that they are monitoring his community. But he was targeted in June while covering one of the No Kings rallies in Atlanta. There were protests all over the country that day, June 14th, and he was picked up by local officials, arrested, and he has been in detention since June 14th. This is now going on over 100 days, and the government is trying to say he's here illegally, he's a danger to our society, he's a danger to law enforcement. But the only crime he's committed is doing his job as a journalist. And he is now under threat of removal. At any moment, he could be put on a plane, sent back to El Salvador. And I think this case, however much the government wants to make it about immigration, it's really about free speech. It's about the ability for the press to cover issues for communities. It's about how communities understand what's happening nearby and issues that might matter to them. And because the government didn't like his coverage, they targeted him.
Wow. Now, down in El Salvador, President Bukele he likes to refer to himself as the world's coolest fascist dictator, as I recall, or maybe just the world's coolest dictator. Is that right? What if I told you most collagen products aren't just a waste of money? They're loaded with toxins that could lead to skin issues, heart problems, even cognitive decline. Scary, but it's true. See, collagen is the most abundant protein in your body, and your natural supply drops as you age. And that's why so many people your age are turning to collagen to relieve joint pain, rebuild bones, and even look years younger. But here's the catch. You have to know what to look for, or you could end up doing yourself more harm than good. So before you buy another tub from Amazon or your local store, go check out the top 5 collagen warnings every American needs to see, along with a special offer. It's a quick read that could save your health and your wallet. Right now, get a special bundle deal at a fraction of the retail price, plus free shipping. This offer is only available at getnativepath.com/Hartmann. That's get, G-E-T, native path, P-A-T-H, getnativepath.com/Hartmann with 2 N's on it.
Well, yeah, and he's going to have competition now because what country jails journalists?
Yeah, for sure.
Dictatorships,
But I raise that because I'm wondering if Mario Guevara, if he's sent back to El Salvador, will he be targeted by the Bukele administration? Because they're tight with Trump and they're hardcore right-wingers.
I'm sure he'll be targeted if he is actually removed and sent back to El Salvador. And the safety issues are, of course, grave. So are the very human impact for his family, because they all live here in the United States. Mario's son has health issues and had a brain tumor, and Mario has been his primary caretaker all of these years. He's also the primary journalist that covers for MG News, and they are on the verge now of bankruptcy while his family tries to cover issues of the day in his absence. But the kind of cascading impact and harm, yes, it will affect Mario, and we don't know if he will get disappeared or put in a facility in El Salvador or targeted in some other ways. He fled that country over 20 years ago because he was targeted at that time for his reporting in the country. country. And so our concerns at least are for his safety, for his family's well-being, and I think the kind of chilling effect this is creating across the country. Look at what just happened in Chicago. Another journalist was targeted for covering police, detained for several hours. This is really kind of an ongoing pattern now where the government doesn't want journalists to convey what's happening, and so they crack down on them. It's a real chilling effect all over the country.
So here we have Stephen Miller and Donald Trump trying to basically evict every brown-skinned person from America. And Mario Gua is now in ICE custody, has been for over 100 days. He's a reporter. He was here legally with a work visa. They're going to be targeting him. What can people who are listening to us right now do about this? Are we powerless?
Well, I love that question because I really believe our voices are our superpower. And the Trump administration would not try so hard to silence and censor people if they didn't realize that our voices do make a difference. And so I think a little bit about the pressure that we saw and the public outrage after Jimmy Kimmel was taken off air, and the ways that late night comedy actually became a real lightning rod for people when they thought about what free speech really means. I'm thrilled that people are excited about the First Amendment. I'm, of course, a First Amendment aficionado, and I'm thrilled. And I think that in the same way we took up this cause for Jimmy Kimmel, we have to also make clear what the stakes are for people like Mario Gua. He is under extreme duress, mentally and otherwise, and the case itself represents just the tip of the spear in the ways that we might see future censorship. As you mentioned, the Trump administration is going after brown people. They're now racially profiling people on the street. I think it's really easy to put pressure for his release. And so you can check out what we're doing at freepress.net. We also have a big coalition that we've put together, freedomformario.com. And we are calling for his immediate release, trying to counter the lies that the Trump administration has put forward about him. And so if you go to freedomformario.com, you can sign our petition, you can sign up for alerts. I think the final thing is, at any moment he could be put on a plane. And what really matters is that people are connecting the dots and calling their officials. It sometimes might not feel like it matters, I called my senator and I left a voicemail, but actually those calls matter. Call your state senators, call your members of Congress, call DHS, call literally everyone. Make sure that the phones are broken. That kind of urgency and outrage is what we need for this case, because if he is ultimately deported, it will be a very troubling precedent set that ultimately that kind of due process we all deserve comes secondary to what the government says and often lies about people they dislike.
And the phone number for Congress, if you want to call your member of Congress, is 202-224-3121. We're talking with Nora Benavidez, who's the Senior Counsel and Director of Digital Justice and Civil Rights at Free Press and the Free Press Action Fund. That's freepress.net. Attorney Nora over on Blue Sky. Nora, are Mario's family, his wife and son, are they American citizens or are they all El Salvadoran?
That's a great question, actually. So his son, Oscar, is a U.S. citizen. Mm-hmm. And Mario was on a path to getting a green card years ago through his son. Oscar just put out a really compelling op-ed online, and you can look that up as well, just sort of detailing the stakes for his family. He's a U.S. citizen. Mario was on track to getting a green card, and all of that has just been wiped away by the government. The Board of Immigration Appeals has said that he is no longer eligible, that they've reopened his removal proceedings because supposedly the government claims he misrepresented something in 2012. And so all of these kind of supposed technicalities make for removal. But his lawyers have now submitted evidence that what happened in 2012 around his bond payments were all lies, according to the government. And so I think we're just sort of to step back, understanding the moment we are in and the way that people like Brendan Carr, chair of the FCC, or others who are in the government doing Trump's bidding are doing so by creating these false narratives around what censorship censorship means, what the First Amendment means. Doing your job as a journalist is not a reason to be imprisoned, detained, or even deported.
Nora Benavidez, the Senior Counsel and Director of Digital Justice and Civil Rights. What's the website again for the
freedomformario.com.
For Mario, F-O-R?
Yeah.
Okay, freedomformario.com. Nora, thanks so much for dropping by and for the great work you and your colleagues are doing. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. I'm really glad that you covered this.
I am too. I appreciate your coming by.